Every time I read the scripture verse, it makes me chuckle sometimes because I know people who don't read the Bible, who aren't Christian, but they know this one verse more than anything. The whole give Caesar what is Caesar's, give God what is God's. I've sometimes heard it in two different ways. Sometimes in a, hey, I know the New Testament, and they'll say this. Or they'll, oh, come a little closer? Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. So that's all right. So when I hear this, sometimes I chuckle a little bit because I'm like, I either hear it in two ways. I either hear it in a way in which they're sharing a New Testament verse that they know. The whole give Caesar's what is Caesar's, give God what is God's. Or they say it in a manner in which it's quite judgmental of the church. This belief that the church has all this money, the church is wealthy. They think Rome, and they think the Orthodox Church in terms of the ornate church furnishings or the ornate apparel that clerics wear, that we are very wealthy. And it's the whole question of, do you give Caesar what is Caesar, give God what is God's? And this whole thing. But in looking at it from the lens of Christ and how this moment was crafted to trap him, in many ways, these moments are crafted to trap us. And this happens even during this season, unfortunately, the season of Advent, that this season of Advent can be used to trap us to think about Christmas in a commercial way, to just skip over Advent and just jump right into Christmas, or use Advent as a means of just consumerism, and that we ignore the notion of Christ, and that this is what this is about, that this season is leading up to the arrival of Christ. We need to make sure we keep focused on that. So that's the beauty of the scripture verse. I know for me, reading it again, that it points that out, that this is about Christ. Even if the scribes were upset and they were angry and they were trying to trap Christ, it was still about him. And he stayed focused on his mission in terms of sharing the gospel and eventually dying and rising and rising again. And it's just one of those sort of things that we need to make sure we keep in mind as we go through Advent, that this Advent season is for us to make sure we treat each other with love, we treat each other with joy, we treat each other with hope, with this expectation that Christ is coming again.
May I share one